back to the one Celtic fans view this evening. Perfect. How are you all this evening? How are you after the day and the night after the night before? The night before when we absolutely hammered the one and only Dundee. Dundee. Why is that video looking so thingy on YouTube? It looks okay on the studio, but on YouTube it looks terrible. Let me just refresh that page. And let's say good evening to Sal. What happened there? Always a good start when things just go completely kaput. Anyway, we're back. We are back. How's that looking? Oh my god, how could this happen this evening? Yeah, that's it. It's better now, isn't it? There we go. Just make sure that's all in. See, technical difficulties. They always have some technical issue. Never work with kids, children's, and internet, as they say. Anyway, where are you, Baz? I'm here. I am back. Hail, hail. Baz on the weed again. No, Michael, I'm not on the weed again. Thankfully. Thankfully, let me just skip that and see where it is. Yeah, it's back. Oh, where did that come from? Anyway, now the screen and the camera is all different. Anyway, let's get to the comment section. Before we talk about Celtic and before we talk around about last night and going forward in the league. Going forward in the league, can Celtic maintain? Where did that performance come from? We'll get to it in a minute. Let's say hello to everyone in the comments section. Kieran was first up. I don't know the question. Pat C says, if we beat the Deadco away from home after the split, I think we can even draw should do it. Lorna Gallagher says, evening, Baz and Trips. Hope you're all good. Yes, I am, Lorna. Michael Ross says, hail, hail, folks. Teneres, even a run from the saturated North London. Hail, hail, great performance last night. Good evening, Barry Boy. Good evening, Green Machine. Michael Ross says there's been some shit going behind the scenes. That's why it's been a weird season. It's definitely been some kind of weird season when you pull out a performance like that. And you could say, like, it was Dundee, they were down at the bottom of the league. We got off to a flyer. We should be getting off to a flyer every single game. Anyway, Dan C is in house, Patrick Toner's in house, Stephen is in the house. Time to turn off the Celtic Symphony. Could be. Kieran is Lorna, get the thumbs up. Michael Ross, no, not in the weed again. Ellen is in the house. Good evening. Amazing night it was last night. It was that. Cannot hear you, buddy. Yes, you can, Zest, because I can hear myself coming through the monitor speakers. So fuck off. It's all good to see the squad confident and feeding off each other. Yes, it was. And Kathleen Donner says Rogers is starting to turn the screw now. And Michael said, I said 7-0 last night and I was laughed at. Now I'm laughing. It wasn't 7-0 though, it's 7-1, Michael. Zest, turn up your volume. You can't hear me. Because it's coming fine through on the audio speakers in the studio. That's just about falling to bits. Big game on Saturday, the Diet Huns and their midden. Yes, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Talk about that first of all, because this is the fixtures as we're going forward. Obviously, we're away at Hearts this weekend. They've been in fine form since December, since they beat us in December, until they met their big nasty brothers from the other side of the city. They've won. I think they've drawn their second last game, then they lost to the South Koreans. Since we beat them, since they beat us in December. Is a case of revenge for Celtic? Of course, it's going to be a case of revenge. Celtic will want to go out and put things right, and that's the way that Celtic teams always do it. They want to go out and put things right to make sure that it was 7-1, not 7-0. Yeah, the team will want to go out and make sure that they do things correct and make sure the right wrongs of the previous quarter of games. Yes. And then we're away to St Johnston. St Johnston with Craig Levine as manager. I think that'll be a game that'll be easily won. They're sitting down they're sitting in 10th in the league. Celtic beat them in December 3-1. And I think Celtic will win that game. Then we're away to Livingston. Livingston are they're they're going down. That nasty. The only good thing about Livingston is the amount of away fans that you get at the ground. But Livingston are going down, and I think Livingston as a team will struggle to get back up. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. But we do play Livingston on the 31st of March. I take it there is an international break in March also. I hate international breaks. Hate it. Livingston are really struggling, and that'll be the 3 games that we play in the league this month. And when it comes down to it, it's 3 games that we must win. We must get 9 points, and it's as simple as that. Well, we'll look at the team across the city. They'll have 2 home games and an away game. I'm going by our fixtures, and I don't even want to even talk about what they're going to do because it's important, it's imperative that Celtic get maximum points out the next 3 games to make sure that if there is any slip, I don't think there'll be any slip up until we meet them. I think it's going to come down to the head to head. What's that head? What's going on? What is going on this evening? An absolute nightmare. Ah, overheating. Why is it overheating? Shh. It is overheating. Why is it overheating? Give me a minute, because this thing is overheating. We have technical issue. We have a technical issue this evening. Definitely have a technical issue. For starters. Oh my goodness, we have a technical issue this evening. It's always the same. Why is it happening tonight? My goodness. Seriously, what is wrong? This game's kind of massive. Can we drop points? The weekend's game is massive. Baz, your house is haunted. I think it is tonight. You back on the vodka, Baz? No, I'm not having a drink this evening. Definitely not. The the equipment is overheating. I don't know why. I'm going to open the window. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah. I need to get another stand. For fuck's sake, Baz. It's fire. Oh my goodness, the house is haunted. It is haunted. Right, let's get on with it and if need be, we can always swap to. No, we can't. Can we? Can we? Media source. Capture device. And there we go. We can always change to that one if it happens again. And then we just turn that to that, which might need to happen. Anyway, we'll check back to the other camera. And media source. Click back to that one because that's a way better camera. It's all happening tonight. Why does it need to happen tonight? Anyway, right. This chancel is sponsored by Universe. The Universe. The zombies are in your computer. Yeah, I think they must be. They must be tonight. Um, Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. So where do we go? Right. Let's get back on the course. Bring back the Irish column. Always forgiven. Yes. 5 more subs for. Yeah, we're sitting at a nice figure up there. 15,395. So yeah, this channel is sponsored by the Universe. Kelly looks a player. Yes, let's talk about Michael Kelly. for a moment. What a fantastic little player. Well, he's not little, is he? He's some stature. And he's got some physicality about him, like Brendan says. He's a big, strong lad, and he looks as if he's going to be a fantastic player for Celtic. His positioning, if you watched his positioning during the game, kept on making room for himself in that midfield, which is absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned. Stuart Ramsey's in the house. Good evening, Uncle Stuart. The Livingston manager is a grass. His co-accused told me, "Doug, you only got 6 years and his mate got 15 years." There's no surprise there. Graham Hardy is in the house. I need to go take my wee girl to her martial art class so she can battle the Huns. Well, there you go. There you go. Right, yes, we are only 5 subscribers away from the 15,400, but it's just numbers. Just numbers. It was difficult to pick man of the match last night. It was Cineres. It was. I mean, who did get the man of the match? I can't even remember. But I think there was no player that let the team down last night. There was not one player that let the team down. Everybody was totally fighting for it, and it makes a change. Which comes to my question: where did this performance come from? Where did this performance come from? Where has it been hiding all season? Celtic had that performance in their locker, and is it a case of they're turning up to try and win the league? We would all have loved those kind of performances back in December. Because let's face it, dropping those points in December has been very, very costly. It's been costly. We would still be sitting top of the league if we didn't lose those two games. The goal difference was swept aside last night. The goal difference was completely. Yang got man in the match. Well, so he should have. So he should have. He had a fantastic game. And it's funny how, because a lot of the players that we were talking about at the beginning of the season, and questioning whether they were up to it or not, the likes of Yang, he's turning out to be good. There's a lot of players that seem to get Celtic now. They seem to get what it is to play at Celtic. They seem to get what it means to win. And when they play that free flowing, fast attacking football, a Brendan Rodgers team playing free flowing, fast attacking football, one touch pass, one touch pass. You would never have said that at the beginning of the season. I mean, where are all the Brendan haters now that were saying, look, and I got stick for trying to defend him and saying, look, Brendan doesn't want to play this passing back at the back, and his team before was fast attacking football. So let's just see where it can take us. It is important that we win the next 3 games, because once we get to the closer we get to playing them at Ibrox, they will feel that if they beat us at Ibrox, the league is theirs. It would mean, if that was to happen, it would mean that there were 4 points in front, and it would be very difficult. No, there'd be more than that, wouldn't there? Anyway, let me just check this again, because with the yeah, there's 2 points in it, so that would go to 5. So it'd be very difficult to try and pull that back. It would be but I have said before many times, look, if we just do what we need to do between now and the end of the season, if we win every game, if we win it damn ugly, I don't care. We will go on and we will be champions at the end of May. And if we're not, Brendan Rodgers will have a lot of questions to answer at the end of the season. Liam says, good. All right, Baz. Yes, I am. James Boys are in the house. Good evening, everyone. A wee bit later tonight. That's all right. You've missed all the disasters that happened at the beginning of the video, beginning of the live, all the malfunctions, the wardrobe malfunctions. And if that's still roasting hot, I'm going to need to check that. When will CCV, we'll have a fit, we can't even say it, threats tonight. When will they have a fit Cameron Carter-Vickers? It looks great, but when we have an injury, Carter-Vickers when he's out, we're a bomb scare. This is true. Hail from Dublin. Vincent is in the house from Dublin this evening. The Watery Farts will be a tough game, but we will sniff out Shankland and we could win. When you look at the result that they had against the Sevco, they're there for the taking. It's all going to come down to whether our defence can cope with the situation, can definitely cope with the situation, and that's what it's going to come down to, whether Celtic we can cope with the defence Because let's face it, it's the defenders. It is the defenders that is going to give us trouble. Unless Cameron Carter gets 100% fit and he's there for the full 90 minutes, it's going to be a worry. It's going to be a worry. But let's hope he manages to see out the rest of the season. But tell me in the comments, where did the performance come from last night? Where did that performance? If only Kyogo scored an eighth, it would have been a real thriller. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, it would have been a thriller. What is wrong with Kyogo? I mean, Kyogo come on last night and his head looks down. He doesn't look. He must be sitting on the side of the bench thinking, why can I not get passes like that? And why can I not play in the team when it's free flowing and attacking like that? He came on last night, and you've got to admit we weren't getting as many crosses in. It wasn't as fluid as it was in the first half. And Kyogo's, I think his mentality and he's taken a bit of a dip due to that. Cameron Carter Vickers, the water or the rocks build on this. Yes, they are the rocks on the side. But it's like you said though, when Cameron Carter Vickers is injured, and let's face it, he's had a really bad season with injuries. He's had a bad season with injuries, and let's hope he's over those injured, because when he's out the team, we're just not the same. We're just not the same. Big Dom says the performance came from the second half of the Motherwell game. Big Dom, I think it was a bit more deep rooted than that. Because if you look before the Motherwell game, Brendan Rodgers showed they shown the team a video of Matt O'Reilly scoring in the 96th minute against Motherwell to win the game. And I think the players knew at half time at Motherwell that they knew what it took to win the game. You know, they knew that they've got to go right to the end. And then I think during the week they went, right, why can't we start a game like that? Why can't we start a game like that and then just go for the jugular right at the start of the game? Like go for the kill right at the beginning of the game. You know, it's like put the game out of sight within the first 15, 20 minutes. At one point, we were scoring a goal last night every 7.5 minutes. Every 7.5 minutes, we were scoring a goal last night. If we go out and play like that towards the end of the season, and we go out and absolutely hammer teams, which I want us to do, because let's face it, I don't want us to crawl over the line and fall over the league title. I want us to win it in pure fashion now. Just to rub salt into the wounds. They thought they've peaked at the right time. They think that they've peaked at the right time, where it's basically that us, we had a little bad run, and we're over that bad run. You could say that they had a bad run at the beginning of the season, but when you look at it, you look at the league table does not lie. You look at the games that we have drawn. We have drawn 5 games this season. We've drawn 5 games. I don't want that to be the issue come the end of the season. The Rangers have lost 4 games and only drawn the one. We've lost 5 and we've lost 2, sorry, and we've drawn 5 games. The games where we have drawn have been the big issue. Hopefully that is behind us. Hopefully that we could take the next step forward and win every game between now and the end of the season. We do that, we're champions. It is as simple as that. They will think that they have it in their own hands. They will think that they can win at Ibrox to put them 5 clear. They will definitely think that. But even if it comes down to it, if it comes down to a draw at Ibrox, okay, comes down to a draw at Ibrox, and then we win at Celtic Park, and then we'll win. They win the rest of their games. We win the rest of their games. We win the league. It's as simple as that. We beat them at Celtic Park, and it's going to come down to that game, which will be interesting because they usually try and make the Glasgow Derby as soon after the split as possible. And let's just get when is the SPFL? Let me just click on that. Fixtures. So we've got Heart of Midlothian at the weekend, and then we obviously play on the Saturday the 16th. We play Celtic versus St Johnstone back at Celtic Park. And then on the 31st, so Rangers do play before us, if you notice that. we play before them. They're away to Dundee. They're going to win it. They're going to win away to Dundee, and then us, we're away to Livingston, and then we get into April. We get into April, and then it is Sunday, the 7th of April. So we need 9 points in the bag before we play them at Ibrox on the 7th of April. And then after that, we play St Mirren, which will be at Celtic Park. So I'm looking to take, I'm taking full points from the St Mirren game, obviously. And then it's the split. And then it's the split. And that's the game where the very next game after the split, they'll probably want to try and make it so that they'll play the Glasgow Derby as soon as possible. They always do. They're not going to try and leave it till later on in the league so that just in case, they'll want it done and dusted, and then back off with just a few games going, and then that'll be it. Or will they leave it till the second? Imagine leaving it to like the. No, they can't leave it the third game. Yeah, it has to be either the first or second game. Has to be either the first or second game. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, Beck is a top prospect. Yang gave him trouble all night. Yeah, he is a good little prospect, but he's in the past. Celtic were thinking about making a move for him, allegedly, but it wasn't to happen. Anyway, Michael Ross actually thought Beck was dreadful. Big Dom says, Baz, that we also have 2 games against, they have 2 games against Benfica. This is true, which might impact on the domestic performances. Well, let's hope it does. Let's hope it does. I don't really even want to think about them. I'm going to shut this window back off. 2 seconds. But by popular demand, Kenneth says, even Baz, Idah needs to keep his cool for the final games remaining in Hail Hail. I think that Adam is the type of player that we've missed at Celtic. Adam's definitely the type of player that we've missed at Celtic. I like a player that's got a bit of a bite about him, a bit of snap, a bit of, do you know what? If you're going to mess with me, I'm going to mess with you. We've not really had that in our team since Scott Brown left, and let's be honest, we've not. We've not had a fighter in our team since Scott Brown left, and we've been missing that. I think and I definitely think as a player, if he keeps on going the way he's going, Celtic should definitely spend the 3 million on the player at the end of the season. And I don't want it dragging out. I definitely don't want it dragging out. I want him to be in the squad well before pre-season and want him bought. SL17, good evening to you. Adam is the same as our big grumpy Greek who left. I think that the difference is the big grumpy Greek wasn't happy about the fact he wasn't getting enough game time because Kyogo was on form. He didn't do enough. He was okay as a super sub, coming on as a super sub, but I don't think when he was given the chance, and he made enough use of it. And I think his attitude behind the scenes is ultimately which led to him leaving Celtic. And that's what you've got to put it down to. There's no use looking backwards and saying, oh, but look what he's doing in America now. His attitude at Celtic at the time was disruptive in the dressing room, and that's not what you want. And that's one of the main reasons that Celtic got shot of him, and he wanted to go. Lorna says, I hope we do sign him. Yes, I hope we sign Adam as well. Because, do you think Michael Ross, no, Idah is different from the Grumpy Geek? I think he's different from the Grumpy Geek. I think he's more, he's in the 6 yard box more. He's in and around. He likes to make a nuisance of himself against defenders. He's not scared to get, to get mixed up with the defenders, which is good. Which is, yeah, he is. He's completely different. You're right. I agree with Shane. You can't replace guys like Scott Brown, legends are hard to come by. Got to remember, Scott Brown wasn't always a legend of Celtic. He grew in stature. He grew in stature at his time at Celtic. He changed as a player. And then when he became captain, I can always remember Scott Brown's face when it was Tommy Burns' funeral. When it was Tommy Burns' funeral at Celtic Park, and the bus was driving past. Obviously, came down from the back of the stadium, round the front, and I always remember the bus that Scott Brown was in. Um, and I can remember his face, and he looked a million miles away. And I think he realised then. I think that was maybe the moment at his time at Celtic, because you've got to remember that him and Tommy Burns were really close. And I think it was then that he really knew he really knew what it was like to play for Celtic. He knew what Celtic was all about. And I think that was a big turning point in his career because as well, because you've got to remember it was just before then that his sister sadly passed away and Celtic couldn't do enough for him at that time. And I think that was a big turning point in Scott Brown's career. And you're right. Scott Brown was a legend. You can't compare him to it. But Idah could be one of those legends in years to come. He could be getting spoken about the same way as Chris Sutton gets spoken about, the same way as John Hartson gets spoken about. The same way that Scott Brown gets spoken about. He could be in that situation in years to come. You never know. He's just a young lad. He's probably about the same age as what Scott was when Scott came to the club. So yeah, you're right. Anyway, let's get back to some of the comments. GG would have been great under Rodgers. Yeah, he might have if he didn't spat his. I think Rodgers would have sorted his head out. I mean, Ange definitely had his own take on players and his own special ones. Yeah, GG did get a good run of games when Keogh goes well and was superb. But the next season when he had to share the duties, I think he spat his dummy out. So his attitude was not what Celtic needed. If he just got his head down and got on with it, and then taken to social media, putting up little timer things on Instagram, saying I'm not getting enough time. Making a big deal about it in social media and stuff, and talking about it outside the club, not keeping it indoors. That's not the type of player that you need at Celtic. It's not the type of player. So there's no use looking back. We've got a fantastic player in on loan. I think if we can get him, if we can buy him, if he keeps on doing what he's doing, we need a fighter. We need somebody big and strong. Because let's face it, a lot of the defences in the SPFL are all big, tall guys. We need someone like him, and I think he'll be a great addition. And I just hope he keeps on doing it to the end of the season. I still say that he's going to score 10 goals before the end of the season. Anyway, Michael Ross said, "Love Tommy Burns, was my favourite Celtic ever." Yes, he was one of mine too. Idah certainly won't be bullied, says Stuart Ramsey. Yes, he will not. What's happening with Abada? Nothing. Nothing. I've got a funny feeling that Celtic are going to sit on him until the summer. There's only 11 games to go to the end of the season. Celtic are in no rush to get rid of the player, and especially to America, where the Americans don't want to pay the £9 million that the Celtic want for the player. Celtic are well within the right to hold on to the player and keep him in the background and say, look, if he spat his dummy out, I'd be deducting his wages. But then he would then use that. But there has to be, I mean, it's like anything else. If you down tools at a job, you have to pay the price ultimately. And Abada, like it or not, he's down tools. I think Celtic will now go on. They'll keep him until the end of the season, and then they'll tell his agent, find your player a new team at the summer. And it'll be as simple as that. And then Abada will go. It'll be interesting to see if Celtic do win the league. This will be interesting. If Celtic do win the league, will Abada don the pitch? Will he come on and get his trophy, get his little medal? Will he come on to the pitch and get his medal, or will he stay away in the background because he doesn't want to come on because he sees a Palestine flag? Just wait and see what happens. Wait and see what happens at the end. I think it will become clearer. Look, he's away. He's away. But he's away. That's it. But Celtic have him they've got him on a 5-year deal, and they want £9 million for him. So get the money in the summer, and then adios, amigo. Green Machine says, "Do you think Dyson looked better playing on the left?" I think he does sometimes. When does Ada's contract on it? He just signed a new one at the start of this season. That's what I'm saying. He just signed a new 5-year contract. 5 games for Idah and 5 goals. Yes, this is true. And if Adam keeps on playing the way he's playing, he's going to score more than 10 goals, which Kyogo's now going to be sitting on the bench going, how do I get back into this team? How do I get back into this team? He needs to prove himself as a player that he's hungry and that he's still got what it takes. I still do think that Kyogo and the big issue for this season, because the last game you played, you remember when he went off, he's holding his shoulder. He is holding his shoulder. So maybe, and the medical team are saying, but there's nothing wrong with it, Kyogo. It's the mindset. The mindset that he doesn't want to, he doesn't want it to get damaged anymore. Maybe that's what's holding him back when he crosses. It might be all good and fun games and training, but when Kyogo crosses the line and he gets that first clamber of a tackle, and someone goes right into him, he's like, that's it. It's the mindset, and that's what's maybe slowing him down. That's what's maybe slowing him down, and maybe that's what's going on in the background, and maybe that's why Brendan Rodgers is like, right, Adam's here. He's got pace. He's got everything it's that header last night. That header for him was just absolutely sublime. It was brilliant, and we've never had someone that can. We've been going on about we need to score goals. We need to score some headers. We need to score from corners, from headers. We've done that. We've done that. We're putting in. We're scoring from headers. Finally, at last. Anyway, refusing to play is actually true. If so, it's breach of contract, or is this just a bullshit story? Michael, I think we all know that Celtic are going down the route of the situation, and he feels that he can't play in front of the fans. Do you know what I mean? Which, when it comes down to it, he's refusing to play. He's refusing to play. So it's as simple as that. He feels that he can't perform on the pitch with a Palestine flag there. And like we said before he came to Celtic, if he had watched any video footage of Celtic over the past as many years, he would have seen the Palestine flag. So it's just about, I think, in honesty, what my own opinion is, Abada has realised that he's not going to be first team option. He's not going to be a first team pick every week. And he feels that he's maybe better than what he is. He feels he should be playing from the start. And I think that's one of the reasons that he's just spitting the dummy out. And he's going down this whole route of, my family back home's like saying, I shouldn't play for this club because they support the Palestine. Fuck off. Anyway, we stopped paying him. But yeah, Celtic's not going to go down that route because they don't want to go down any legal route. And you've got to remember that these type of people and the people that are backing him and supporting him would go down that any type of legal route. So I think we just Celtic play it cool and keep the players in the background, and then sell them in the summer. It's as simple as that, and then we get over it. I don't know if as an Israel player will come to Celtic for a while. There's only been 2 Israel players ever played for Celtic. Come on, so who cares? Israel's not this great footballing nation. I'm not overly worried about the situation. You don't see other teams around Europe going, oh, fuck, better watch the Israelis. Come on. Anyway, Celtic says, of course we can, and we will. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know if he's an Israel player that will come to Celtic for a while, says Jason. I don't really care because it's some of the best players. Let's look at the Israel players that will fucking beat it. I don't even want to talk about it. It's in the past. The fact that you had one player, Near Bitton, that played for Celtic for as many years, and everybody used to hate Bitton coming on the pitch. So let's not get all this fucking love about fucking Israeli players, because people used to moan like fuck when Bitton came onto the pitch. You've got fucking short memories. You've got short memories. Everybody's got short memories. That's, he's an Israeli player. It's cool as fuck. No, everyone hated it when fucking that big lanky piece of shit came on the pitch for years because he slows the game down. It wasn't good enough. Everyone hated Near Bitton for years. Anyway. Yang's better than the Abada nowadays. Yes. Let him get to France. Jason Lee says it's been a couple of years since we had a title race. I'm excited about it. Yes, I'm excited about it. Tay? What the fuck am I talking about now? I'm excited about it as well. I'm sorry for bringing it up. No, it's no worries. It's no worries, Liam, at all. It's no worries at all. But no, it's just a point. It is a point. I mean, we go on about this Israeli player like he's some fucking fantastic player. And it's like, we'll think back to when Near Bitton was here. When Near Bitton used to come on as a sub folk would go, oh, for fuck's sake, seriously. They would moan like fuck about it. Anyway, Berkovic, how did Kyle work out? How did Berkovic work out? But Kyle was the anyway. Who moves? Short Ramsey says, "I've not got a short memory. What's your name again? Don't know. Check that other channel." Anyway, football fans have short memories. There's no history beyond the last game and beyond the next game. This is true, and football fans are the most fickle bunch of people. Who had the captain's armband when Kalmak went off? That's an interesting. Who did? It would have been. It would have been the keeper, Joe Hart. Joe Hart would have got it because Joe Hart's the number two. And Joe Hart is number two, so it would have been Joe Hart that had it. And Joe Hart must have been sitting with his pipe and slippers, thinking, 11 more games to go, man, and that's it. Retirement is coming. Hey, goodness, like easy. Japanesey. That was their best 11 last night. What happens then, James? If that was their best 11 last night, what happens when Rio Hitati comes back into the fold? Who do we drop out of the team from last night when Rio Hitati comes back into the fold? And question is, where did the performance come from last night? And can Celtic do that kind of performance until the end of the league? Tell me that. Pipe and slippers, says Davey. Yep. Pipe and slippers sitting at the back post. That's the holy goalie that used to smoke, wasn't it? You could actually see the holy goalie blessing himself and just getting his pipe and slippers. Anyway, Big Dom said it'd be great if a Bada could sort his mind out and knuckle down, knuckle down at paradise. Big Dom, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I've got a funny feeling that he wants out of Celtic now. So if he does, he goes with our best wishes. He's a player that scored some good goals, but he'll be forgotten in years to come. He'll be the type of player that won't go down in the history books. He won't go down as a Chris Sutton. He won't go down as a Henrik Larsson. He won't go down as a Didier Agat. You know what I mean? I mean, Didier Agat probably gets mentioned more fondly than Leo Labada just now. The young boy did well in midfield. Yes, let's talk about the fantastic prospect that is Liam Kelly. Young Kelly, he looks like a fantastic player. I actually wanted to see Vata on the pitch last night. I wanted to see Vata get on the pitch and see his movement and see just how he compared to young Kelly on the pitch, because that would be really interesting just to see where they're at level wise and progress and see how far the players can progress. Anyway, let's go back to some of the comments. Did you see the banner from the boys? Write your own story, fight till the end. No, I never seen that. Never seen that last night actually. I wasn't on social. I've not been on social media all day, and I wasn't really on it last night either. We decided to have a little late drink in the pub last night. It's fantastic. Looks like Mikey Johnson's going to have another loan spell full of promise. Mikey Johnson, we'll just leave him. It's Daniel Kelly. Why do I think Michael Kelly? Because that's Michael Kelly is who had shares in Celtic. Yes, it is Daniel Kelly. Michael Kelly had shares in Celtic and he sold them for 180,000 to the one and only Bunnet. So apologies for getting Daniel and Michael mixed up. It's Daniel, yes. Ah, Daniel, not Liam. Liam Kelly. Liam Kelly's a fucking. My head's messed up tonight. Anyway, let's get some Celtic news. Let's get some Celtic news. And Adam Idah tip for Syria A move. Whoa, wait a minute. Breaking news, Celtic fans. Celtic, Adam Idah's loan spell at Celtic didn't get the fans excited. 5 goals in 6 games, but having faced challenges to establish himself at Norwich City, his move to Celtic has seen his chances to rejuvenate his career. The resurgence is not going unnoticed, especially by Chris Sutton, who Chris Sutton ironically gives Celtic stick for signing him in the first place. Goes on to say, reflecting on this, Sutton, writing in the pink un, highlighted the potential of Crossroads and what? There's nothing about Sarah. According to this, because we didn't have a buy clause in the loan agreement, it opens doors to clubs to express interest in the summer, potentially ignite a bidding war. the attraction of Serie A, where teams like Girona, what a nonsense article. What a nonsense article. No, he's not tipped for a Serie A. But what an absolute nonsense article. Celtic share. You should be ashamed to put in some. Who wrote this? Aaron. Ugh. Just when you thought, well, we're going to get some absolutely bizarre news, it was a nonsense story from Celtic share, which I'm disappointed in. I thought they were going to break some news about a team maybe trying to hoodwink us. Anyway, more nonsense for the press. It's not even press. It's not even press. It's it's the Celts are here website. The Celts are here website. I'm fucking fed up with all these journalists kicking about fucking in Celtic gear. Honestly, God, man. Anyway, well, Jennings, Sidney Van Hooijdonk opens up on Celtic transfer speculation. Who cares? Who cares? Celtic dominate Scottish Premiership team of the round as 7 hooks make the team from last night. Adam Idah reacts to brilliant Celtic Park showing as the champions, and Alistair Johnson and his hilarious message to Yang on social media. For the first moment at Celtic, thank you to the fans who support us, said Yang. And the madman Alistair Johnson replied, there's no clicking on it. Why have you got an advert in front of it? The internet is just going crazy tonight. Tab, there we go. Alistair Johnson, congratulations on your first man of the match. And he's got a little emoji and a laughing face. Jesus. People are struggling for headlines, eh? Tumbleweed has just crossed over. So many Celtic channels on YouTube, majority talk shite. Stephen, I'm all for people. I'm all for people having Celtic channels. I mean, I talk shite a lot of the time, but a lot of them are just using it as a platform to enhance their journalism career, and that's it. And you'll never get fucking journalism or Tories speaking bullshit on this channel. That's for certainty. It's not where the channel lies. Davey says, do a swap deal with Norwich for a Bada. That's not a bad idea, but nah, because that's only 3 million. It would have to be money. It could be a good deal, though. That's a good deal. Good deal. Good shout, Davey. Davey's just won the internet tonight. Davey has won the internet. Davey has won the internet this evening. Anyway, let me just change something on this. Oh no, I didn't mean to open that. Do this. This is where channels that have contracts. Oh, look. And on that note, hey, there we go. That's better. Right. The bogeymen are here. Let me see what other Celtic headlines are kicking around this evening. Sometimes I listen to Jer's podcast. What? They don't sound Scottish to me. No Tories here, Baz. Yes, there's definitely not. We could rotate the midfield, says James. We could rotate the midfield, talking about where would Rio Hitati come into the team. I think the fact that we've had a pretty much settled midfield now, and it's good the fact that Iwata's finally getting a game in his preferred position, and it's allowing Callum McGregor to go further forward. I mean, who do you drop? You're not going to drop Callum McGregor. Do you drop O'Reilly? No, because Matt O'Reilly's in way better form than. Look at the goals that Matt O'Reilly has scored this season. Can Rio Hitati come in and find that bit of form? I honestly think come the next, I think he'll be back in about 8 games to go. I think he will struggle to get back into the team. He might get bit part. He might come on as a second half sub. He might come on as a second half sub, but I think him and Kyogo could really struggle towards the end of the season. And I think that dip in form, the dip in form that they've had throughout the season, will affect them right through the summer. It's just a saying, just a thought. Jason then goes on to say something. I can't even believe he said that. We could rotate the midfield. Celtics here are just the typical tabloid No, you're dead on, Buzz. Yeah, and I mean, I like the idea of when all these Celtic sites came around, and we do seem to have an awful lot of them that are training to be. And look, they can all train to be journalists all they want, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that either want to work in journalism, or and they're using Celtic as a vehicle. They're using Celtic podcasts, Celtic websites as a vehicle to further career, which is fine. Fine. Big Baz said, Big Dom, rotate the team when Rio is back. Yeah, but who do you bring out? Who do you drop out? I think bringing him on as a second half substitute, yes, but I don't see him starting the game. I do not see Rio Hestate starting the game between now and the end of the season. Not a chance. Not a chance. Is Bernardo worth buying? That is the £6 million question. And I'm going to say yes. Because if we sell Rio Hatate in the summer, if Rio Hatate gets his move in the summer, we'll need Paulo Bernardo. So with that one, yes. I would say yes, he's worth buying. He is a bit of a. He's not as good, obviously, as Rio Hatate. But if Rio Hatate, we've got to remember the likes of Paulo Bernardo was brought in case Rio Hatate was sold. The fact that Rio Hatate did not get his move, Rio Hatate didn't get his move, I would say that yes, buy Paulo Bernardo. He's somebody that knows the club. It's not like you're buying. It's not like we're having to go out and then get a new player. There will be people. There will be movement in the transfer market. There will be players leave. Will Kyogo leave? Does he feel it's maybe time, even though he's just signed a new contract? Rio Hatate for me could be one. Um, Paul Baird says, in his opinion, Rio Hatate won't start another game this season. Yes, I don't think he will either. There's something, I think, just get him out and get him fit for the next season if he doesn't leave Celtic. Michael Ross, potentially, but we wait and see if Bernardo form improves. Bernardo's form can only improve if he gets more game time. Has he had enough game time? Has he done enough? £6 million is far too much, says Peter King. I think that's the maximum that we're going to pay. You make me feel better, Baz. Let's do this, boys. I think we can do it. We can do it. I'm pretty positive. I've got a positive outlook on it is in our hands. I mean, it was funny last night because there was the South Koreans must be the only set of fans that when their team win, rather than going on to a Rangers podcast, which there has to be many of, they decide to come on to a Celtic podcast, and Celtic have just won 7-1. It's the most bizarre thing ever. Um, you would sit and say, like, they've just won 7-1, and I'm going to go on. I mean, what the fuck, mate? What goes on in their head? What goes in their head? I have no idea. I'd rather Bernardo than Hatate. What's the price on him? Hatate has not been great this season, and I think he's injury prone. Bless him. Paul Bear's got an interesting one. I can see 4 or 6 players to go in the summer. I don't think there'll be as many. Well, you never know. You never know. Any news on getting us the Liverpool Irish keeper? Had a stormer in the League Cup final. Davey, I don't think there's too much speculation about that he's going to cost upwards of 15 million. Will Celtic go out and pay that for him? There's rumours about this keeper from Turkey. Brendan Rodgers knows him. And this is the thing. Brendan Rodgers knows him from his time at Liverpool. He knew him through the youth system then. And that could be the thing that swings it for Celtic. But will we go out and spend that kind of money? It's been suggested that Celtic will. But we were told that we would go out and spend 30 million last season. So don't believe a thing that some of the media types will say, because we don't know what Celtic are going to spend. And it's going to come down to whether we win the league or not. If we win the league, we go directly into the Champions League. We need to make some kind of impact in the Champions League. It's as simple as that. And I don't mean we were unlucky this season. If you look at Gustav Lagerbielke getting sent off, if you look at Dice Mida getting sent off in the Champions League, it puts us a man down in both these games, and it makes those games that were potential games that we could have achieved something to, we never achieved anything. We did. Let's take the positives out in the Champions League. We got 4 points. That's 4 more points than we got last year. Did we play good in the Champions League? No, we didn't. but the whole team hasn't been playing good all season. If we had been playing like we did, then that's what I said on the thumbnail. It's like, where did this come from? Where did this performance come from? It's a performance that Brendan Rodgers knows the team has. It's a performance that the players deep down inside know that they have. But where has it been hiding all summer, all season? It's been hiding all season. Anyway, it's a quiet night on the channel tonight. Only 630 views. Where this time last night we've had over 1,300 views. I don't know. The old internet. The old internet. It's not an easy game, I tell you. Right. Anyway, how long have we been on? I'm going to check out to see if there's any more Celtic news kicking about. Will Brendan be here to buy him? Yes, he will be here. Yes, he will be. Lorna Gallagher, I would never subscribe to a Rangers channel. I wouldn't have a click on it. Nope. Couldn't even watch them. The Celtic World and Celtic is Down Under podcast are great. Just fans talking about our beloved club. Michael Ross, yes, they are. Two newer ones. They're quite good. Liam says zero chance. Zero chance of what? Will Brendan Rodgers, Green Machine, will Brendan Rodgers be here to buy Paulo Bernardo? Yes. Like, he's not going to. If we even if we lose the league by 2 points, right? Brendan Rodgers will still be here in the summer. He'll still be here in the summer. He's got a 3-year deal. He won't walk out earlier in the club, and the club will not want to pay out the majority of his contract. He'll be given the money. Wait and see what changes there are in the summer, and I don't think it won't be manager. It won't be manager. There might be some movement upstairs, and he might get someone else in to the recruitment side of things. We'll wait and see. Big Dom says Hatate feeds Kyogo. If one goes, maybe the other one will follow. I hope they both stay. I hope they both stay, but there was a lot of speculation about Rio Hatate last summer, and that's why Rio Hatate's form. When you look at the start of the season, and I stood by it at the start of the season when I said, look, it's Brendan Rodgers is doing the right thing by playing David Turnbull. If you look at the pre-season games, David Turnbull was on fire in pre-season. David Turnbull was on fire in pre-season. Rio Hatate wasn't. Rio Hatate had a bit of a quiet pre-season, if you like. David Turnbull was the man of the moment, and David Turnbull come in and scored goals right at the start of the season. His performances were fantastic for Celtic. Rio Hatate comes back into the team. David Turnbull's dropped out. Paulo Bernardo gets a run in the team, and then the decision's made that Turnbull's like, do you know what? I'm going to leave. He's always had the words with the manager and said, no, I'm going to move on. And then Celtic are right, okay, you're well within your right to want to leave after this season, but we'll sell you in December. Simple as that, or January when the window opens. So I think he always knew that he was going, and that's why Turnbull did the old finger in the ear thing, but that was against the fans at St Mirren, wasn't it? Anyway, one game at a time, says Michael. Yes, I hope Brendan stays. Also says Green Machine, he will stay. Trust me, he will stay. He's not going anywhere. Zero chance of the Irish keeper. Zero chance of the Irish keeper. Not if it depends. It all depends. Celtic are going to go out and spend some big money on someone, and the goalkeeping department could be that area that we spend big on. Will it be a case that we're going to go out and spend 7 million on the Turkish one, or will Brendan Rodgers get his man? Jason says, don't blame Turnbull for moving. He wants to be a starter. Yes, he wants to be a starter, and you got to admit he came to Celtic at a difficult time. Hatate is our best player, and the best player in Scotland when fit. That is the issue, Big Dom. That is the big issue. To pardon a pun, it is the big issue. It's how he's not had one season where he's not had a niggling injury of some sort. Well, see you in the morning. Good night, everyone. From Parkhead says Stephen. Davey says Liverpool will have a new manager. Remember, yes, there will be. All the Celtic fans podcasts are worth listening to. After all, they're talking about the greatest team in the world. Yes, they are that. They're all talking about the one and only Glasgow Celtic. The big one. Anyway, right. That is it for the evening. We've been going for 54 minutes. It's not been a busy evening. It's not been a lot of people cracking around. Anyway, make sure that you give the video a big thumbs up. Hatate's injury prone. Says one of the comments could easily say Liverpool 8 million up front and 1.5 over 5 years. Says Gordon. There's only 62 thumbs up on the channel. So make sure that you do give the video a thumbs up on the way out. Jason Lee and No Beer in England. Hail, hail, troops. Have a good one. It says Northampton Tim. You get the last comment of the evening. Great show, Baz, says Martin. And on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around the world.